Welcome back everyone, and welcome to part 2 of this pontoon boat build where right now she's done. We've already had it out in the water. So let's get to putting everything back on and let's see how this thing works. Alright, welcome back everyone for the part 2 build of this pontoon boat restoration. If you haven't seen the first part, go check that out. All we simply did was tear everything off, extend the deck, so a little bit of welding there, put our marine grade plywood on, vinyl, and our trim pieces on. So that took quite a bit of time. That's all in one video. So in this video, what we're actually going to be doing is we have something a little creative here. We're going to be doing a plexiglass window. We're going to have some underglow lights under there, just something cool, different. And then we are putting all our hand railings on, redoing our seats, and getting all that stuff on there, and a few more accessories. We'll see how far we get with it. So come along and let's get this thing done. Alright, so what I've got going on here is a trolling motor mount. So I just took some angle iron, tacked them together, and I got a 1/4 inch piece of plate here. And this is simply just going to go under there. It's going to tack to 2 frame rails, weld to them, and then my trolling motor should be able to bolt right to this. Alright, so here I'm trying to figure out how I want to frame this window up. So for one thing, nothing's supporting this, that's cut, so I want to hold this floor a little bit. And then this is also going to give me something to bolt my frame that the window's going to sit on. So I've got this coped out. Basically slides up there and there. I'm just going to bring that right flush. So there's going to be one here, one on the other side, and then I'm going to build a little square tubing or angle iron frame, and I'm going to be bolting to this, so I have to lower it down low enough so that my plexiglass is flush with the top. And we've already ordered that, that's on the way. It's 3/8 thick, so I think that'd be really stiff enough to go across this 22-inch span. So that's what we're going to do here. I'm just going to bring it flush to maybe just a hair past where this vinyl wraps down, and then my frame will be able to slide down and bolt to it and make the plexiglass flush. Alright, here's the frame all welded up. I ground this flush, so that's what the plexiglass is going to sit on top. I think I'm going to Sikaflex that, glue it. So that's nice and straight, nice and square. And then this is basically just going to slide right down in there. It's a nice snug fit, it's like perfect. So that's going to sit down, 3/8, however thick that plexiglass comes out to be. And it's going to sit nice and flush. All right, there's the floor. I just picked up this plexiglass. We actually ended up going with 3/8. I was gonna do quarter, but my brother was wondering if it'd be too flimsy, and I'm glad we went with 3/8 because this still has a little bit of flex, but it's still really strong. So we used Sikaflex 295 UV. It says UV resistant, and it's it's weather resistant adhesive for bonding polycarbonate glass. So this is exactly what it's for, and it's got a picture of a boat on it, so that's great. We're also going to put a trim piece around this edge, which is why I left around 1/8 of an inch gap. So it's going to be like a little T rubber insert here. So that'll be the next step for this window. And now that I have everything on this boat ready to go, as far as welding and doing everything in here, we're actually going to take this, roll it back out. We're going to pick it up while the handrails are off the boat and put it on our trailer, because if I put the handrails on, my straps, they're gonna angle in, and it's gonna want to bend my hand railing. So I want to get it on the trailer now, so that's what has to happen. So with these railings, what I want to do is they have bunch of holes drilled in from accessories they had screwed over it to the ear. So I'm going to be filling those up, and I'm actually going to be filling in all these holes that were riveted, that the fencing was riveted onto. And I don't really need to do that, but I want to do a different pattern, and chances of me drilling into one of these is probably high with my luck. So I'm filling them all in, and it doesn't take too long. I've already done 2. So after that, I'm gonna grind stuff flat. I'm gonna wire wheel this old aluminum, and then we're gonna put some self-etching primer on it, and then painting them black. So I think that's gonna look real nice. So I've already done a couple, got a little time lapse. I'm not gonna bore you with doing all 4 of them. Pretty simple, standard procedure. All right, so to cut these, they're pretty thin aluminum, and you can do them with a utility knife. Now, the other thing I'm gonna do is while I have this on this is my template, so I'm just gonna run my drill through each one of these, just put a little score on it, and that will make it a little bit quicker, because before I cut the end off one of these, and actually this is this one I cut off, so I gotta get a different one. But anyways, I cut this off, and that was my template. I put it beside and just mark all my holes as I went, but this will be quicker. All right, so I've already finished one. Seemed to go pretty good, but I think I got a little better system here. So what I'll do is when I cut this to length, I make it just a little bit shorter so I can bring this lip in a little bit, and it'll come down a little bit there. And then I make sure I'm relatively square here. This is like just the size of it. The old ones were like a 1/4 inch shorter so they could sit in there. So I'm trying to push things to the bottom a little bit more. If I have to grind the edges, I can. It's on the bottom, so you're not going to see it. Now, so once I got that relatively even in between top and the bottom rail, and make sure, you know, it comes up here pretty good. That's good. So then I'll come down here once I have my clamps on, and I'll start from one corner and work my way up and start riveting them, making sure that this stays flat. You don't want to get a wrinkle in there. If you start from corner to corner and start working your way in, there's a chances you're going to work a wrinkle into the middle. That's pretty standard with a lot of things. So do that, and then as I come along the edges, I'm doing top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom, and working my whole way down here. Once I get down here, and I have the last one riveted in, I'll push this down, pushing that radius in, and then I'll clamp the top and do the same thing. Start here, work my way over, and then work my way down. The middle has some forgiveness because you got that curve that dips in further, so you can push it in and out easier. And another thing, I'm keeping the plastic on. I've tore the plastic off the bottom up until here. I don't want it getting scratched before I get this piece on, so it's peeled back to there. The front is left on, and I'm drilling first and then peeling the plastic, putting my rivet, and then I keep going with that. It's a little time consuming. Modern pontoon boats don't do this anymore. This is the 94, so it's old. They're riveted. Normally they'll have a little lip that you gotta just bend up a little bit, and you can slide the whole thing out and slide a new one in. So much easier. And that's why with these rails too, I had to fill in every hole because I knew it was going to be impossible to get them perfectly lined up to the old holes. So I quickly filled them in, buffed them flat, so I can drill completely new holes and not worry about drilling into an existing hole, which I think would happen a lot. So yeah, it's a little time consuming. I think the first one took like 45 minutes, maybe 45 to an hour. And I was taking my time making sure I didn't get wrinkles in it. So yeah, I've got 3 more to do. Next thing I want to do is figure out my door dimension here. So I want to aim to get this size, my back and my front, and I'm gonna bend them first. If they're too wide or too narrow, I can use them for my sides because I can adjust that really easy. So what I have here is my 24 on the absolute outside to outside, and then my 28 3/8 is there, so I'm simply going to add these all up. I'm going to cut them at that length. So these will be longer due to the what they call tube stretch. So I'll have like a good inch or 2 on the bottom to play with and cut. And yeah, let's run with that. Let's make one and see what it looks like. So this process, I didn't do an in-depth video on making these doors. I have a separate video of making these doors that I explained how I did it, how I annealed the aluminum to be able to bend it, and making these doors and even installing them. So if you're interested in that, go check out that video and enjoy the little time lapse. Oh, that's better. So yeah, that's the reason I didn't want to screw these down yet, because I wanted to find the perfect width door for this. This one's just scraping a little bit on this plastic stop. That's no big deal, that'll wear in. So now, for the back side anyways, I can find my distance here, make sure they're perfectly square, perfectly in line really. I can screw these down and then start working my way up, do the doors on this side, and then do the door in the middle, find that gap there, screw it down, screw the sides down, and play with the gap on the side doors. So that's what I'm going to do next. All right, got these two in. That one wasn't too bad. This one was a pain to get to. I couldn't get a washer on. Hardly any room under there. This one, can barely get my fingers up to it. It's gonna be quite the process getting these on. I think the back's just gonna be the worst, so. I'm using a piece of foam to put up against this, because the first one, I scratched the absolute crap out of it. So maybe I'll try to find some touch-up paint, I don't know. Anyways, at least that was just one spot, so put the foam up, drill the holes, it's not too bad. We'll see how the rest of it goes. I'm not gonna video with the rest of it just because that's a tedious, long process. So I'm just gonna make sure everything's square, in line, and as you can see, for some reason these aren't bent perfect. I got a gap in the middle, so I have to, once I have the back screwed down, I have to pull this in, clamp it down, and then drill it. So they don't seem to be that square. Even if you look along the side here, these ones are off quite a bit. So I might have to use the seats to bend this one in. That's gonna be bent in more. So it's just an old boat, and these are made out of 1 inch. Newer ones, I think they're like 1.25 inch, 1.5 inch tubing, so they're a little more rigid. So yeah. So what you saw me bend up there and weld in is just this little shelf. There's a lot of wasted space here, so I was like, this would hold my battery right up there, or I could keep the battery down there, and I just got another shelf for other stuff. So that's good. It's just a little bit more storage. Now I gotta wire wheel this up with my benches I've already done, and we're ready to paint this. Oh, and I gotta cut some holes for, I'm gonna put the radio headset here, and I haven't got this yet, so I'm gonna have my control panel here as well, so I gotta get those. So this is just a small insert of me making these seats. I have a more in-depth video of how I actually made these seats. If you're interested in that, go check that out. As you can see, I did a test first, make sure I knew what I was doing, and worked out pretty good. So I've got one side on. It actually worked really good. Quite surprised. So what I ended up doing for this, I'm literally using door hinges for this. So I'll show you on this side what I'm doing. So what I've done is I started by mounting these. Now I want this overhang a little bit so that the door comes past 90 and stays open. If it's like straight up, it's gonna keep wanting to fall on you while you're trying to get stuff in and out. Now all I did was line these up consistently, and I put a 1/8 gap just overhang. That's just what worked for this, because this is 1-inch tube and these are big hinges. Marked them out, drilled them, mounted these. And then what I did, folded these back up. I just have two right now. I think I'm gonna do a middle one just so it's not bowing, or you know, when someone sits in the middle, it might warp, I don't know. But then I put my seat on, and I'm marking the underneath of this, and then my sides, because I'm trying to leave a little bit of a gap here, so when I'm opening and closing, I'm not like rubbing, and so that edge doesn't tear my vinyl. So when I mark it, this is the hard part. Then I'm holding the seat up, and I'm like squeezing it with my legs and getting that line up. I can just see a little bit of that line, and then I'm screwing it into the cushion. It's a pain. That one worked really good. I'm hoping this one works, because I don't want a great big gap. I want it to be nice so that it comes down and it just fits nice and tight. So hopefully this one goes the same way, and then it's on to the next. All right, and what I'm using are these 1/4 inch, 1.5 inch long stainless bolts, and they're tapered cap screw, I guess they're called. The reason why I went with that taper, so that this hinge can come down and there's not an interference. So that worked really good with the other one, so I'm pretty happy with that. All right, so for the driver's seat, I needed to make it a little narrower so I could clear this. So I'll still be able to lift that up, use the storage. So I just made a little, whatever you want to call it, little filler piece here. I could have made that cushion, but I didn't really care to. So that rig will go there. This will go here. I want a little bit of clearance in the back, so I think I could have that a lot closer, but that's gonna be that. And then the other side, I got my cushion. Which will go something like that. Pretty nice. The only other thing we're gonna have to do is put like a little back cushion here, I guess. It's a little awkward trying to hold yourself up in a boat, so pretty comfortable seats. These ones back here are a little high, I notice. It's like my side by side. They're too high, but that's better than my side by side, really. All right, so I've had a little issue once I put this motor on, that my steering connection actually started running into this. Same with on this side. It was in the way. I was gonna drill a hole, have that under, and then I realized that this is gonna also hit too, and to steer, this actually needs to overlap this. So I have an 1.5 inch 2x4 I trimmed down, and I think that's going to work pretty good. So that's going to clear this. No matter which way I... Come on, you. So I can take that way up, and that's going to clear. So that's good. This side, to get the controls over to the steering, I'm going to end up cutting a little hole here, a little oval hole. I'm going to 3D print just a nice little trim piece for that, and then bend this cable down, under, and up the way it went. Little setback, but I think that's a good fix. So basically what I'm going to do is unbolt this, take this top trim piece off, slide the plywood up the 1.5 inch, bolt it back in, re-drill the holes, whatever, and then I'm going to make another cat piece to cover the plywood, so you'll have to, these edges will have to come down like another 1.5 inch. So yeah, not too big of a issue, just some more work. All right, so that actually turned out to be a little easier than I thought it'd be. I pretty much just bringing the whole aluminum and plywood up with it. Then I can use the same ridge cap And yeah, the only difference is I got a little bit more of a gap here. I don't think that really matters. And then I can just re-drill my holes, bolt it on, and then we're higher. And I ended up only going like an inch and an eighth. That's all I really needed. I still had a good amount of clearance, so I'm not raising the motor too much, so it still should run pretty good. All right. Alright, so this broke. It was originally broken. The old owners kind of fiberglass glued it on there. The other piece is right here. That piece right there. Now I'm just trying to rip this stuff off. See what I'm working with, see if I can 3D print something. Alright, check this out. So this was the original piece. And as you can see, this little thin piece of plastic broke off. Like that wall thickness is like a 1/16 of an inch. So that snapped off. And this is the new one. Look how much beefier that is. Just look at it in comparison. Put a nice chamfer in there so it's not going to snap off or anything. So boom. I need a longer pin because of course I made it thicker. So pin goes through there, but I need a longer one to put a cotter pin on it. But anyways, goes in here. Where's it? Right there. And oh yeah. So this is the thing too. So I do take the spring off this. And then this little pin, I forget what these are called, but they're kind of got some grooves here and they kind of swell out a little bit. They're like press fit in there. So I have to put this in that plastic piece first, put the pin in, and then it's there. So this is where my fuel tank's gonna go. This is where it was, so it's going back in there. So I had to drill a hole to get my fuel hose out. And another reason why I like a 3D printer, made a nice little flange here. And then for the other side, I have a hole for my throttle cable and shifter linkage cable. And I was eager, I just want to get that in. I wasn't gonna do this, but I ended up making the same thing and I just split it in the Bamboo Labs slicer. So I'll be able to put that on. So I'll screw them in and on to the next. So here's another problem I had. The previous owners had the throttle connections and the bushing to hold the throttle cable into the motor housing. And they were going to ship it to us. And I was just too eager. I really wanted to take it out and get this thing going. And shipping takes a while here for some reason. So I ended up going to the 3D printer again, fabbing out one of these. This one right here is to hold the throttle cable onto the linkage so it doesn't pop off. And then I ended up making a bushing end on the other end to hold the cable in position. As we were chilling in the boat playing some crib, some vacationers entertained us with an RC float plane. I've never seen one of these before, but as they were doing barrel rolls, dives, landing, and taking off in the water, I decided I might need one of these.
That's cool.
Oh, that's so boss.
16. Oh,
Oh, that was sick.
we're really bad at this game.
He just did 3 barrel rolls.
I think he has a camera on it.
I don't know. Look at him.
easy that is?
I know, right?
So that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned because I'm going to be doing a little bit more stuff with this. I'd love to do another solar panel canopy to keep my batteries fully charged. And I'm probably doing some other things with some lighting and just making it a little fancier. So thanks for watching and see you later.